Commentator Kurt Bardella, former Breitbart media consultant who recently left the GOP and joined the Democratic Party. Kurt, let me start with you and ask you just about the way all of this played out. There was some haste here at the end of the year to get this done before Christmas. The president saying yesterday the bill is going to sell itself. What should we read into that there? Is this White House keen to wash its hand of tax reform and move on to something new?
Well, Trump, as we know, more than anybody, looks at polls, cares about polls, and what we know is that this tax bill is one of the most unpopular pieces of legislation that's ever been passed. And so knowing that, it's not shocking at all that he wants to sweep it under the rug, start the new year fresh, and move on to other priorities so that when the time comes and the American people realize that this tax bill is nothing like it was promised to them, they're not going to get the benefits that Republicans in Congress are out there lying about right now, Trump is going to be able to say he's focused on other things and try to create that distance. If it does by chance succeed, he'll say he was for it all along and try to take credit for it. But again, this is a president who, more than any other president, cares about what the headlines say, and the headlines on this bill have not been good.
Governor, let me ask you here, Kurt, about the reported disagreement, a vocal disagreement that we had between Bill Stepien, the president's political director, and Corey Lewandowski at the White House earlier this week. The New York Times and the Washington Post both reporting that debate took place in front of the president, continued outside the White House before the two gentlemen went home. What does that say to you about the Republican approach, this administration's approach here to the 2018 midterms?
Well, I think there's a reckoning happening right now. The reality is President Trump's approval ratings are at an all-time low. And so many of these vulnerable Republicans who are really facing a potential tidal wave against them in the midterms, they're not going to want to be on the campaign trail with Donald Trump. They're not going to want him showing up in their district and creating that association, that visual of Trump hugging another congressman. Because I'll tell you, the minute that any of these guys step on a podium with Donald Trump, they're going to be mail pieces, TV ads, millions of dollars spent projecting that image and showing how in tune these Republicans are with Donald Trump, and that'll cost them to lose their seat. I think the White House is trying to figure out how can they best use the president. Trump wants to get out there on the campaign trail. We know that he loves nothing more than a big rally where he gets to just be outside the confines and limitations of Washington and the White House to feed off of that energy that he gets from that audience. He wants to be out there as much as possible. The problem's going to be other people aren't going to want him out there with him.
Governor, thank you very much for the time. Kurt, thanks to you as well. That's Howard Dean and Kurt Bardella joining me here on MSNBC. Up next, a brand new report alleging the president suggested immigrants from Haiti, quote, have AIDS. A pastor who works closely with the president will join us next.